What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to be going over Palantir. Palantir has an absolutely game-changing event tomorrow after hours. We're going to go over exactly what I'm going to be doing with my small Palantir play that turned into a pretty large Palantir play, what exactly I am planning on doing with that position, and everything that we can expect to come out in the actual event. So if you guys want to see all of that information and exactly what I am doing with my trade, make sure you stick until the end of this video. But before we get into all the information, if you guys enjoy this video, please go down and hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. It really helps me get this information out to as many people as possible, and you get to stay up to date on all of your favorite stocks and learn about a couple of new ones. So if we go over and take a look at the chart of Palantir, we can see that today it was up an additional 11%. Now on Friday, it was up around 25%. So if you have any type of Palantir position, calls, shares, anything, you're making lots of money right now. We did see this massive dip during the day when the overall market sold off on some bad China news, but it ended up rebounding throughout the end of the day and ended at 36.23. And after hours right now, it is trading at 36.40. If we take a look at a little bit of a longer viewed graph, we can see that Palantir has had an absolutely crazy year since its IPO. It actually hit its previous high at 33.50 and now has made a new high at 36.40 after hours. So Palantir has been going absolutely crazy. And let's take a look at what I'm planning on doing with my specific options play. So if we go over and take a look at the options chain, I have the February 19th 30 calls. So I've been calling these out since about this point right here, basically the end of 2020. I was calling for Palantir to have a pretty massive reversal and a pretty substantial run up to demo day and earnings, which is going to be happening on February 11th. We're going to get into that a little bit later in this video, but let's take a look and see exactly what I am planning to do. So right now, these contracts are trading for $8.05. So you can see I have two of them. I bought them for around $1.20 each. So I've turned about $240 right now into $1,600. Now, this is a pretty massive jump. The trade is up currently about 450%. So there's a couple of things that I can do, and I'm going to show you some strategies of what you can maybe do with your Palantir calls as well. So if you own anything that's in the money right now or that's slightly out of the money, what you can do is you can look for a strike that is higher than the one that you currently have. So I have the 30s. What I would do is actually I would look for something such as the 40s. So what I would do here is I would actually sell two of these $40 contracts and collect $800 in premium. But what's great about this trade is that I have the right to purchase 100 Palantir shares per contract that I have. So 200 Palantir shares at a price of 30. So basically what I'm doing is I'm taking profit off of the table, but capping my max gain at the $40 mark. So you're giving yourself some upside while taking money off of the table. Now, another thing that you can do is I might just sell one of my contracts and make it free. So I would take that $800 and then let the other contract ride up until the day before earnings. That's what I'm planning on doing right now. If Palantir goes crazy tomorrow and ends up going above 40, that is most likely what I'm going to do. You can always do the other strategy when you sell a higher contract for a price higher than what you paid for the lower strike contract, but it's a little bit more involved and a little bit more sophisticated and advanced. So if you don't have any experience with options and you are just buying these contracts and they're up a lot, I would suggest being careful with selling contracts if you don't know how they work. So let's take a look at what we can actually expect from this event at 4:30 tomorrow afternoon. So that's going to be Eastern time after market close. So we can see here is on top of demonstrating how Gotham and Foundry work, the company said it will also demonstrate other software from its modular strategy. So recently Palantir has come out and said that they're going to be releasing some new apps and some new technology. So that's going to be a very important aspect to watch out for in the event tomorrow. They've also said that they are going to provide real life examples of its commercial and government work. What's important about that is we kind of all know what specifically these different contracts have been for. Basically, a lot of them were to help handle the pandemic. But we actually haven't seen specifically what Palantir is able to do with the data that they bring in. So once we pass this event, people and investors are going to see just how powerful the Palantir systems are in softwares, and we might see a lot of more bullish investor sentiment going up into earnings. So the product demonstrations and the real life examples of commercial and government work, we've all known about that for a pretty extended period of time. But if we come over here, we can take a look at some of the new things that Palantir released that they're going to be talking about in this demo day. So they're going to be talking about software-defined data integration, low-code, no-code environments to deploy operational applications in hours, archetypes to start business use cases in a few clicks, AI-enabled mission command to support U.S. and allied nations in planning and executing missions. That's going to be a very important aspect. Palantir has about over $100 million worth of United States government contracts. So if they unveil this technology and it really looks great and they can get it out into the market as soon as possible, we could see Palantir start to get more government contracts, not only from the United States, but from, as it says right here, the allied nations. So Palantir has also released something else that's very important, and we're going to talk about that right now because of earnings coming up. So Palantir's earnings date is going to be predicted to be on February 11th. So 3 days after their earnings, that's when their share lockup period is going to expire, and some individuals, the insiders, the C-suite, and some of the original investors will be able to sell some of their Palantir shares. Now, as I was saying before in a couple of my other previous videos, when Palantir was trading around here at the $26 mark, I didn't really see a lot of the insiders selling a lot of their Palantir shares, but now that Palantir has broken out and is now trading at the highs, we actually could see some insider selling on this day. But we also have seen some rumors that Alex Karp and Stephen Cohen could be making a purchase in Palantir shares upwards of $180 million within 30 days. So we've been talking about that for about the past week and a half. So it's possible that they have already made this purchase if they're going to. We can kind of figure out that they were going to make this purchase because of their early termination notices that they have been granted by the SEC. So another thing that's going to be very important when it comes to Palantir's earnings is right here. So in Q4 2020, Apollo managed 150,000 plus upgrades per week across environments, up from 40,000 plus upgrades per week in Q2 of 2020. So this analyst says to me, this is an absolute bombshell. Essentially what they're saying is they told investors that business increased about 275%. So we could see this kind of priced in into the earnings estimates that analysts are giving Palantir, but it may not matter. Palantir may come out with some absolutely insane numbers, and the stock will go absolutely crazy after the earnings announcement, and any share lockup expiration or selling will not be able to stop this company from going up. So in general, tomorrow is going to be an absolutely crazy day for Palantir. As we've seen so far, the volatility this week has been pretty crazy. As we saw today, Palantir got up to as high as $39.58. The contracts that I was holding got all the way up to, I think, $11 a contract, which means that each contract that I own 2 of them, were $1,100 each. Now, as I've said before in a lot of my videos, I use options to supplement my long-term portfolio. It's just kind of a play account. I don't take it extremely seriously because it's not something that I need the money for. It's to build up some capital to put into the companies that I like for shares. So I'm not YOLOing everything. I only trade with between $250 and $1,000 on every single trade. Now, the reason I didn't take that large of a position in Palantir was because the implied volatility was so high on the options chain, and I didn't want to have such massive price fluctuations in the contracts that I own. But now, since these contracts are up about 430%, 450%, I think I'm going to maybe take one off the table tomorrow. It depends. If Palantir gets to 41 or 42, I'm definitely going to take some of that gain because my contracts will be $10 or $12 in the money. But you got to keep in mind that if your contracts go deep in the money, the implied volatility in theta decay does not affect your contracts as much as it would if the contracts were out of the money. So that's going to be it for this video. If you guys enjoyed enjoyed what I had for you in this one, please comment down below and like this video and hit that red subscribe button, and comment down below your thoughts on what you're planning on doing with your Palantir positions. I'd like to see what you guys are doing with your positions as well, so we can maybe bounce some ideas off of each other before tomorrow's event. So I hope you guys had a really profitable trading day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.